What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm your co-host Donovan Quick, and reports came out earlier today that the Dolphins at one point this offseason were in talks to trade Jonnu Smith potentially to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, why on earth would the Dolphins want to trade Jonnu Smith? And it's really simple, and it's become a common theme this offseason, and it is money. The Dolphins, after paying Tyreek Hill, after paying Jalen Waddle, after paying Tua, after paying almost everybody else and their grandmother, we have no money. So we are going to be trading Jalen Ramsey at not the deadline, after June 1st, with that post June 1st, cap break that we get for trading him after. And then you have Jonnu Smith, who he's only due $4.8 million. And I made a video earlier this offseason saying that the Dolphins need to get ahead of this, and they need to pay the man. They need to give him whatever he wants, basically, because even if he's only going to get $15 million, which is like kind of top tier tight end money right now, it puts you on, I believe, besides Kittle, it puts you in like the top 5 highest paid tight ends. Like $15 million a year for what he just did last year, and he can produce that again and again the next 2 years. Look, I get it. He's 28, 29 years old. He's going to be approaching his 30s. But tight ends typically don't hit their prime form until that age. Like their prime is quite literally 28 to like 32. And then they start to fall off at 34. So personally, I would still sign Jonnu Smith to a really good deal. And he wants a reworked contract. And as he should, he came off a career year. And he prefers to stay in Miami. But he does still want to be paid. He wants to be paid properly. And the Dolphins, they can make that happen, whether it's with incentives. He wants a reworked contract of some kind. They didn't say if it's an extension, if it's a pay bump this year. They just said a reworked contract. And the Dolphins need to make that happen, because if they don't, I don't even know. This offseason's been really weird. I don't even know. I'm going to make a separate rant video about this offseason. But that being said, going into this, why the Pittsburgh Steelers? Why not, maybe a more tight end needy team that maybe you're a player away from having a complete offense, and why the Steelers? And it's very simple. Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith loves Jonnu Smith. They drafted him when Arthur Smith was in Tennessee. He had a couple of really good years to start his career there. Then he went off to the Patriots and sucked. And then he went to Atlanta and reunited with Arthur Smith once again. And he used Jonnu Smith like he should have used Kyle Pitts. But that's, neither here nor there. Then, of course, after that, we were blessed enough to get him here in South Florida, where he broke multiple franchise records for tight ends, including receiving yards and receptions. So, yeah, it's you come into a franchise, you break their franchise records. You're only getting paid $4.8 million this year. Look, if you just incentivize that contract, that's not against the cap. That's literally just coming out of the owner's pocket. All day, every day, I would love an incentive-based contract. That's what Chubb's contract is this year. Bradley Chubb, his contract is fully, it's like almost the minimum, and then all incentives, playing time, sacks, fumbles, blah, blah, blah. That's what Chubb's contract is. Jonnu Smith, make it the same thing. Make it touchdowns. Make it receptions. Make it yardage. And I guarantee you, Mike McDaniel don't give a shit about that. He doesn't care if you're one catch away, for 7 yards, like Mike Evans was in the last game of the season, yeah, he's going to go get you that money. But besides that, he's not going to game plan you out of a game just because you have, money on the table. That's not how Mike McDaniel works. That's not how, the NFL works. So I really do like the idea of at least throwing him some incentives. We'll see if they get the contract situation ironed out. If not, be on the lookout for potentially having him traded. And I believe he is there in camp. I don't think I've seen reports of him missing. I believe the only two people missing were Jalen Ramsey and Zach Sealer for the first 2 days. But Zach Sealer, he's always in the house. We don't have to worry about him. That's not anything big, although we do need to extend him as well. So yeah, that being said, I'm not going to try to worry about this. The Dolphins have shown us that they don't want to spend money this season. They have shown us that they will relentlessly believe in Julian Hill, even if it's the death of this team. And look, I like Julian Hill. I do. And I think he's due to have a good season. He practices hard. He leaves it all out on the football field. But sometimes those lights are just too bright for some people. And I think it might be for Julian Hill. That being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Make sure to get notifications for when we drop our videos. We're going to start ramping up these videos a little bit more. Also, go Panther. Deuces.